This week, JTV is brought to you by Eufloria Flowers, the American-grown hydroponic rose that truly is the prettiest rose on the planet. For more information about Eufloria and to see their complete rose gallery, visit their website at eufloriaflowers.com. Today on JTV, we're on the central coast of California, here at Eufloria Flowers, the roses that I love so much. And today, I'm going to take you on a behind-the-scenes tour to show you how the great people at Eufloria grow the prettiest roses on the planet. So here, in the central coast of California, there are ideal growing conditions for growing the prettiest roses on the planet. With over 8.5 acres under cover here in greenhouses, roses are being grown hydroponically. That means they're grown in cocoa fiber with water nutrients coming to the soil themselves. It's a very green, friendly, environmental way to grow beautiful roses. The water is recirculated, the fertilizers reclaimed and reused. They use tiny Priscillus, organic insects that go out into the greenhouses and eat bad pests. So a friendly, incredible care is taken to grow the prettiest roses on the planet. So you're wondering, what does hydroponics mean and how are hydroponic roses grown? Here, the roses themselves are growing from a canopy of foliage down here. Underneath here, we've got containers. And those containers are filled with cocoa fiber. The water goes through the cocoa fiber and hydrates the flowers themselves. So this wonderful canopy that falls down is the support system for the beautiful long-stemmed roses we see growing up here. Growing in California is extremely important. California has had stringent environmental standards for many years that Eufloria has constantly been working with and upgrading to ensure that they work inside all of the regulations that are given to the state of California. That means Eufloria has been green for years. Another great thing about Eufloria roses is the fact that the foliages and the stems are as beautiful as the roses. The reason behind that is the nature-friendly way Eufloria approaches their roses. From using tiny Priscillus that are released to go out and eat the bad insects, or using nature-based solutions so that the foliage and the stems remain just as beautiful as the roses themselves. You want long-stemmed roses? That means roses need to spend more time on the stems and the bushes of the rose plant. So to bring you a gorgeous, big-headed rose on a long stem, it spends time here in the greenhouse, where it's heated, cooled, watered, and cared for by the skilled technicians and the nurserymen at Eufloria Flowers. So here, they're picking Chronos, and again, having those layered back, they go into the aisles, selecting individually the roses that are ready to be picked. The care that's taken with each individual stem is the secret behind the success of Eufloria. With over 70 different varieties of roses, there's different growing schedules. So Eufloria takes the opportunity every single day to check their roses and cut the ones that are ready to come to you. Never overloaded always making sure he's picked the perfect ones. Look at that. The prettiest roses on the planet. Kronos from Eufloria. Boutique varieties are one of the keys to what Eufloria creates. Seeking out individual varieties that are specific to color or a unique shape or possibly an incredible, delicious fragrance. That's what boutique growing is. For example, a beautiful rose like Ranuncula. That's a boutique variety grown specifically here by the great people at Eufloria. Weddings mean you need beautiful roses, and the Aikido variety is one that's very popular. It grows so well here in California, and because Eufloria has dedication to the quality and beauty of roses that are needed for special events throughout the country, they dedicate rows and rows to beautiful white Aikido. Eufloria growing over 70 boutique varieties of hybrid tea roses and over 12 incredible spray roses. These roses have just been picked this morning, meticulously cared for, carried like babies from the greenhouses into buckets, traveling in water the entire way. After the roses have been cut, they're brought up here and then placed in here to be pre-cooled before they're sorted and packaged. This gives them ample time to be hydrated. All of the roses, too, go into Chrysal Formula 1 and then are transported in Formula 1 as well. Taking your roses then putting them in Chrysal Formula 2 allows you to get longer life from these beautiful roses. Chrysal Formula 3 for the consumer is then a perfect opportunity so that each one of these roses will grow, open, blossom, and have the most amount of fragrance they possibly can. One of the things you're going to notice about the roses themselves in the bucket, notice how these roses are taller and it graduates down to lower roses in the front. As they're picked, the gentlemen that pick them take care to place these roses at the top, the longest ones in the back, and graduating the front down so that damage doesn't occur to those from picking to where they're grading. Now, you'll notice they're grading the roses, individually selecting and placing them into groups, making sure that each one is perfect, making sure each one is befitting of the name Eufloria, the prettiest roses on the planet. So after the roses are graded, they're packaged, and each one receives their individual seal of approval, carrying the symbol of the rose goddess. Surrender to the flowers, Eufloria roses, the prettiest cared for flowers on the planet. So after the roses have been packaged, they're loaded onto these large carts and taken in here. It's amazing to note that the roses rarely, if ever, leave water. If they do, it's for a very, very short period of time. This means that the quality of the rose you receive is optimum. The quality ensured from keeping them in water all the time is one of the key successes behind the Eufloria story. The temperature inside this cooler is 33 degrees. It's the perfect humidity and cool temperature to keep these as fresh as possible. Each one of these carts contains between 12 and 1,500 roses. So look, thousands of roses, the prettiest roses on the planet, ready to go out to flower sellers everywhere. So that's the way it is here at Eufloria. Doing it right every single day, ensuring that you get the best quality, the finest rose. The love that's shown to every single blossom here at Eufloria is extraordinary, and it happens every single day. So let's get started with this week's project. Because I'm at Eufloria Roses, it's perfect. We'll be able to make an arrangement out of the prettiest roses on the planet. And this week, I want to feature their spray roses. First, we'll start with a design ring like this, and we'll remove the bottom plastic tray. And what I'm going to do is use my foam knife and bevel the edge of the foam. Now, the reason that I took it out of the tray was so I can make insertions all the way down here towards the bottom. We can set it on a low flat tray. We can set it on a piece of cellophane then too. So we've got a couple of different options. But this way, the plastic tray isn't blocking where I'll make my insertions of roses. We'll start with some Eufloria Jezebel. The thing I like about the roses too is that they open up so well. And so many times I'll get my Eufloria roses in and allow them to open up a little bit before I start to work with them. Allowing them to open up lets us create placements that cover a lot of area. Now the rose I've added here is Quincy. I want to show you the difference between Quincy that's been open for a couple days. Look at how big and full those blossoms get. So this is just the beginning of a great Eufloria spray rose. As it opens up, it's going to get bigger and bigger. So we've got Jezebel and Quincy together. A great accent for that is Eufloria's Best in Show, Kelly. That wonderful warm orange tone. You'll notice that I'm not placing them right next to each other or in any even pattern. I'm giving it a real serendipity look. You could also place all one color together, move to another color, create stripes. You've got a lot of different options. I'm going to use the big Quincy and just dot those around the perimeter of this wreath form. Those fill in so nicely. And they're a great contrast to the little tiny buds too. So now we have a great little wreath form. Now I wanted to put a candle in the middle of it. This is great. I'm using one of my wine goblets. And I've just placed my votive down inside my stemless wine goblet. And that is going to form the hurricane or the chimney for this. It's a great way for us to pick something we have at home and reuse it in a creative way. Now, just a touch of ribbon to accent these beautiful spray roses. Take our wood pick and push that directly into the foam. Now I'm just running a band of it across there. Run one more on the other side. And that makes a great centerpiece for our table. Now remember, you're not limited to these colors. Here's one I created using Flash Night, the new Best in Class winner for spray roses at the SAF convention this year, along with the Quincy from before and other pink spray roses from Eufloria. Again, my candle would fit in the center of that, and that gives us a completely different look. Remember, there's a wide variety of colors. This is an example of the dozens of colors of spray roses that are available here at Eufloria. We can do something like that, or here's a little novel idea. I found this test tube holder at an antique store. It's a great way for me to display a few varieties of Eufloria roses. And spray roses make a great accent in an arrangement like this, or in this wonderful teacup. But having them along with the hybrid tea roses is a great way to bring scale into a beautiful arrangement. Don't forget that Eufloria roses themselves are pretty enough that sometimes one is all we need. So that's just a little bit of the fun you can have using the prettiest roses on the planet. So, from Eufloria Flowers and me, until next week, keep having fun with flowers.